What's going on, guys? Perfect 10, issue 2. Again, one of my favorite series so far. This one's created by Dave Brink, and he is doing a great job over there. Um, I just want to kind of briefly catch us up from issue 1 to issue 2. So, our character here, 10, she just goes by a number. She was woken up from like a deep slumber from Virgil Pratt, and she is the last remaining member of the Perfection Program, which is just a group of super assassins, to put it real quick and easy. She has no memory, because every time she goes out on a mission before they put her to sleep, they wipe her and all of her kin's memories. So she had no idea what was going on, why she's being targeted. She is brought up to speed as to what's going on and all that. And she was able to escape the bunker with Pratt, and the whole bunker that they were in got destroyed. And so they were also being attacked by a group called like the Syndicate. They're a bunch of superpowered villains, and so that is where we are, and we're going to just continue on. So again, written and created Dave Brink, and pencils and ink done by Pal Rodricks. Sorry about that. All right, so we have our werewolf guy who was like the last one to try and get at 10 before he was kicked off that ship. We didn't know his name at the time. I know his name now. It's Crimson, which is fitting. He's just kind of overlooking the destroyed bunker and, his failed mission. And a teleporter named Traverse pops up behind and says she wants to see you. She being kind of the leader named Calamity, and we'll meet her soon enough. And so the two disappear off into the distance. Now over at Division M HQ, we see Virgil is revived, and he is revived by this superhero named Panacea, and she just is fully able to heal him up. She goes out to thank 10 for bringing Virgil back and, saving his life. 10 introduces herself, and Panacea she's like not happy to meet 10. She's like, you know what? Knowing that there were 9 others just like you makes me sick. So we are then given info that the whole Perfection Program that has been put out into the rest of the world. Now everybody is aware of this program, and that is why most of the people are not very fond of them. And Max is over here. He's, the head of it all. He's the one that created this program, and he is trying to justify to 10 why that this was a necessary program. And he points out to the city and says, if not for that program, this city would have been reduced to rubble a dozen times over, and we did it for the greater good. And what is that? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Something similar. Okay, so we're over with the Syndicate, and this is where we meet Calamity. And just look at her design. It is a great design. I like her overall appearance. The name is wonderful. That is one of my favorite names in this whole series. It really gives like an ominous feeling. And then the way she's carrying herself, just in this still, it definitely looks like she is not one to be fucked with, and I really like it. And she's, reprimanding Crimson over here for his failure. And she tells another one of the villains here, named Mute, to go ahead and take his powers. Now, I've read all of these books, and I can't remember 100%, but I'm pretty sure Crimson will get his powers back. But we do see him taken away, and if he doesn't, that's an issue for me. But I do believe that this is only temporary. It would be an issue because the whole reason why they're attacking the assassins and all that is because Calamity is just kind of pissed that the assassins are killing her people. So to reduce her people on her own terms just wouldn't make any sense. But I'm fairly certain that this is temporary. And she comes over here to this electric guy, and his name is Killshock. and orders him to go to the city and basically cause chaos. They're looking to send a message. And so we catch back up with Virgil here, and he is trying to reach out to John. Now, John is Virgil's son. And we find out really quick that these two do not have a good history right now. And Virgil just simply wants to talk to John. And John is reluctant to do so. And when he finally accepts, he really doesn't give Virgil much of a chance to talk back. We just see that he is right on the attack here. And what John's pissed about is he feels that Virgil more or less just abandoned his family, including his dying wife. That John had to step in and be there the whole time with his mother while she was dying. And to make it worse, he had to lie to her about the whole, whereabouts of Virgil. And it's like, oh, he'll be there. Don't worry. And that just really pains him. And to even make it further worse, he finds out that he was working on this assassin program rather than being with his dying wife. And that just really pisses him off. And so he doesn't allow Virgil any kind of a chance to explain. And he's like, face it, our relationship died when she did. So, not everything's all hunky-dory for Virgil there. And you do kind of pity him. Because you know that he didn't really want to be a part of the assassin program, at least what we know up to this point. He was genuinely trying to help his wife, and he regrets not being able to get there in time to save her, and now he's also more or less lost his son in the process as well. So this really sucks for him. We cut back over with Ten, and she is now talking with Max, and she wants to know, we have a healer, by way of Panacea. Why couldn't she save Erin, Virgil's wife? And Max says, well, this is very simple. Erin died before Panacea was brought into our, she was recruited. And Ten is feeling kind of guilty about Erin. She's like, Erin died and I lived. And she wants to kind of make it right with her life. So she's like, I don't want to be a puppet anymore for these assassinations and whatnot. I want to do things my way. I want people to see me as a friend and not a threat. And then we cut over to the city where we see all of these villains being teleported in by way of Traverse here. So now I don't know all of these, but we do have like Killshock over here. We have Morbid, which I love that name, and it's kind of funny. This one was, I believe, Replica, and then I don't know these guys' name. I know his was mentioned. I just honestly don't remember. That is kind of the only real problem I have with this book so far is just there is a lot of names to try and remember, and I can't remember all of them even after multiple times. But then I do want to kind of point out another little issue here with Hive Mind. Now, bear in mind, this is very nitpicky, but it would appear as though he is facing away from us. However, his arm is kind of like it's turned backwards, and it doesn't look quite right and I know that that's how it's supposed to be because it looks like these are all back muscles here. That is definitely our tricep, the back of the arm. And it looks like our elbow is pointing away. So this arm being here just doesn't seem right. And this little honeycomb looking piece is supposed to be on his left side. And if he is facing away, it's on his right. And then we'll see him over here. It's on his left. But again, that is extreme nitpicky shit. So I just wanted to point that out. So we see everybody throwing their powers, and I'll say Hive Minds is got to be the weakest out of everybody's here. All he's really doing is sicking bees on everybody, and I'm just like, okay, annoying, yes. And people do fear bees, but I'm like, okay, not really doing a whole hell of a lot. I'm like, yeah, if they get stung enough, it can kill them, but it's kind of a weak-ass power. I'm just going to say that. Um, and I do think Morbid's is kind of funny. Just she's hitting people with molten fat. And I mean, it is hot ass shit. So, I mean, that does suck. Um, and then we got this guy here. I can't remember his name, but he's got four arms. But what's unique about it is normally there's a balance of the forearms, right? You got two on either side. Well, he's got three on one side and just one on the other. And I also like the double face look. And I think that this guy, I never did learn his name, but he basically runs around giving people diseases. And I'm like, yeah, that's a terrible thing, but I mean, excellent for a villain. And he's just going around spreading disease and stuff like that. And then we don't see it quite yet, but Replica, she can imitate anybody that she sets eyes on. At least I don't think she needs to make contact with anybody. But then also with any kind of super individual, she'll also gain their powers. I thought that was pretty awesome there. And so Max and 10 get wind of this through like news, or I don't know if Motherboard is the one um, making them aware of it. Max is saying to Motherboard to go ahead and send out some heroes to go deal with this, and Ten's like, well, I need to go. Max is reluctant because he's like, well, we just bailed you out. It'd be a damn waste just to send you to your death now. And Ten doesn't take kindly. She's like, I'm not asking. I'm telling you, I'm going. And so after a moment of consideration, Max says, fine. Has her gloves all linked up to the armory there so she can then summon her weapons like what we saw in the first issue. And then sends her out with a set of wheels so she can get out there quick. Virgil catches wind of this. He's not thrilled. He's like, why the hell would you do that? And Max is like, well, it's not like I had a choice. She kind of forced my hand, but also we have people on their way. And that is when Calamity makes her presence known and that she hacked Motherboard. She's like, yeah, actually, no, there is no cavalry coming. Ten is going to be on her own. And Max is like, why are you doing this? And Calamity says, well, we want to make a statement. We care. I care about my people. And if you kill one of us, I will bring hellfire down upon you. And we are going to teleport, cause chaos, and disappear before you can do anything about it until you hand over that assassin. But once you do, we'll call it even, and I will stop attacking people. And this puts Max in a bad situation. He has to kind of think about it, and he's like, fine, take her. Which you can't blame him. I'm like, once you have so much innocent blood spilt, how are you really going to reconcile with the people that you're the good guys, right? I get it. It sucks. It's not a great situation either way, and Virgil's not even thrilled about this idea. But the only thing I if I'm to like headcanon this, I would think that Max is like, well, I still have Virgil, the guy that's really responsible for this whole project being able to come to fruition in the first place. Perhaps I can create more synthetic people. And so that could be what's on his mind. I really don't know. So Ten makes her way out there. She just busts up, the hive mind and the disease dude, beats them all up. Goes after Traverse. Traverse surprises her by just disappearing, and then she catches a backhand from the big dude here. And then gets sprayed by molten fat by Morbid here. So, yeah, that didn't go very well for her. Now, Replica's over here. She's trying to tell the cops just to get away. It looks like she's not thrilled about what they're doing. And so she's trying to tell them, hey, just go. But Killshock just zaps them all, scolds her for just being soft, and tells her to, basically get her job done. And she's, like, looking horrified at all the dead cops there. Meanwhile, Killshock then checks in with Morbid. Morbid's like, I don't see any movement. And Ten's like, well, here's some movement. Comes over, grabs her by these like tubes and bashes her in the face. And she falls down. Big guy throws fucking Optimus Prime at 10. And 10's able to evade it, but it sends shrapnel and debris everywhere. Some of that debris is about to fall on a mom and her baby. 10 rushes over, pushes them out of the way, but gets caught by the debris. And then, meanwhile, we see Motherboard is now active again, and so the signal gets sent out for the heroes to go help out 10. At least that's what we can assume, because it doesn't take long for them to show up. We'll see here in a second. So the disease dude, he's over there trying to like hit her with a concussion and some other shit, and it has no effect on synthetic people. She summons a knife, stabs him in the foot. He's out of it for right now. Big guy catches wind of her summoning weapons with her hands, grabs her by the hands, and yanks her up. Now they're all surrounding her. Killshock's getting ready. He's like, any final words? And he's like, 10 says, behind you. And that's where we get all these superheroes here. And we have Safeguard, which I believe is this guy right here. And then Frontrunner. Those are the only two names here that I know at this time. So they're in. And they distract long enough for 10 to go ahead and break Killshock's leg. But it doesn't matter because Traverse teleports everybody, including 10, away. Now, what they do notice is Replica was left behind. And this is where we get a quick demonstration of her powers. She's like, I'm not going to take the fall for this. Now, there is a slight spelling error. It says, I'm not going to take the fall for his. Right there. And she looks just like Frontrunner. However, Frontrunner's like, yeah, maybe you can mimic my powers, but it took me years to master it. I bet you don't have the same mastery. And quickly catches up, smacks her in the back of the head, knocks her out, and calls it in. And so on our last page, we see Frontrunner updating Max and Motherboard about what's going on, while Virgil is over here looking just horrified about what happened with 10 and just wonders where she could be. And that is where we leave off. And again, I think we got us a nice, strong thing. Just really nitpicky things. Like I said, I noticed a spelling error, and I can't help but notice that it was once again a T missing. So maybe whoever's doing the lettering or whatnot, maybe just check on the T's and make sure that they're there. And then a little bit of an issue with how Hivemind looked on their first display, with that arm that just seems to be put in the incorrect spot. Just didn't need to be there at all. But as far as the story is concerned, I have no real issues with it. I could potentially have an issue if Calamity does not have Crimson's power come back to him. It just seems to kind of be against what she is all about. But for now, I don't have too many issues as far as that story is concerned. We do have speedsters introduced and teleporting, so we're going to have to keep that in mind as we move forward as far as what is capable of being done about those characters. But I would say at least a 8 out of 10 book again with this. I really like what's being done. There is a whole lot of characters, but I mean, that is kind of the world that we're in, so I expect that. And so because of this, I'm just not able to fully learn everybody's name. Hey, we got other issues. I can learn as I go. This is still a very intriguing world. And I am looking forward to finding out what happens in the next issue. I really, like I said at the beginning, I really like what's being built here, and I definitely recommend this to anybody. And so if this is something that would interest you, check the link in the description where you can get a copy for yourself, or at least 2 to follow should a second chance campaign arise. But that is all I have for today, guys. So until next time, take care and God bless.